Yo, what is up guys? Techno here. We will be doing a how I ranked up to Immortal in one act and how you can do the same thing. So basically this video is a no bullshit speed run, any percent, very vague but informative video for Valorant to Immortal. I got to Immortal in a single act within 50 games, 40 games actually, 41 I believe, and I really wasn't even trying. And that's not a flex or anything, okay guys, that's not really a flex. But I literally griefed myself halfway to Immortal by picking characters that I wasn't even comfortable with. So yeah, that should kind of tell you something. And I was just like learning the maps and like gameplay and stuff like that. Like I didn't really understand how spraying works really, or like how to shoot people and the basic stuff, you know. And you can argue with me like, hey bro, you literally hit plat 3 as your first rank. How's this guide gonna help us hard stucks in the lower ranks? And to that I say, well, number one, I actually started in gold in the act before that, but I didn't really have the motivation to grind Valorant because I was still playing Counter-Strike during that time. And second, look at a player like It's Timmy. He had a stream, one stream where he went from Iron to Radiant, and he got through Iron through Plat pretty easily. And yeah, I mean, he didn't make it a Radiant, but I mean, he still made it to high Immortal. That's impressive nevertheless, and that is the goal for this video, and the goal that, you know, you guys probably want as well. So I think the most important thing right now is to not go in with a negative mindset. You guys probably have heard of it before. It's kind of overused, kind of a copium tactic, but there's this thing called the 30% rule. I'll just go over it very briefly. 30% of the games are games that you can't control, that you will win, that your teammates will be amazing and the enemies will be trash. The other 30% will be your teammates are trash, you might be playing like trash, and the enemies are like, you know, Sentinel's team on peak, like, you know, Berlin or something, I don't know. And then the other 30% of your games are gonna be games within your skills to carry, and it's gonna be determined, like a win or loss is gonna be determined whether or not you can carry and you're better than the enemy team and you're having a good day, you know, having a good game. And honestly, I feel like that statistic isn't wrong, considering the fact that I do have a 61% win rate, no flex again, in competitive. But if you do have the skills to do so, then I think you should follow this guide no matter what rank you are. I think that you should be able to grind to Immortal. I think the first step I want to start off with is the fact that the biggest things that will impact you, the biggest things that will hold you back from gaming and trying to, like, you know, play your best in Valorant are things that are outside of the game. Now, I don't mean your mom calling you for dinner because you just started your comp game and you have to go. And I'm not BSing, I'm being for real, I'm not trolling or anything, but you guys see, for example, like weightlifters and bodybuilders, they aren't buff because they do push-ups and sit-ups all day. It's because they have proper gear and equipment to lift, you know, really heavy weights effectively and efficiently, right? So I think that this goes for gamers alike. If you don't have stable ping, if you don't have good frames, if your monitor or mouse has terrible delay, you're clearly gonna suck ass. And that's just how it is. It's cold hard truth. And not even your friend's dog's cousin's girlfriend's mom's nephew or something who made a diamond on a trackpad can convince me otherwise. Just remember guys, we're going for efficiency. You need to have the best reaction timing, the best speed, finesse when it comes to shooter games like Valorant. And that applies to a lot of games as well, and IRL sports and stuff like that as well. You know, you can't compete. If you can't compete even at a basic level, then why are you even trying to hit a high rank? If you have a broken baseball bat and a, you know, a rubber ball, then, you know, how are you going to make it to pro baseball? I don't know. That's like the best analogy I can kind of give you, you know? And another thing that weightlifters do is that they have a good sleep schedule, you know? Healthy diet as well. That really does help. Sleep schedule is very important, because if you play during demon hours, you are going to be matched up against demon players, and your teammates will, you know, might not be demons. You know, there's a very high chance that happens. You'll realize that the enemy team seemed like they just woke up and had 10 G fuels, and then your team is like on their 26th hour of their work shift, and they probably drank a little bit too much before going, like, they're like, it's ridiculous sometimes. You need to have a proper sleep schedule, because It is basically the equivalent of playing the game drunk. You're not gonna have fast reaction times. You're just not gonna, you're just nerfing yourself. Why are you even playing competitive? Just play like Spike Rush or something for fun, you know? So now that all the scrubs have left, probably, we should get the real gamers here some improvement in game that can help you boosting your success in ranked games, okay? First of all, I think the most important thing in game, kind of outside the game too, is comfort. It's really weird. You don't really hear a lot of people talking about comfort, but I think comfort is very important in Valorant. Like having a good posture, you know, making sure that your gaming posture is always going to be the same. You know, you need to be comfortable. You don't want to be breaking your back playing, 8 hours or something. So obviously you need to have a good posture, right? You need to learn common angles. I think holding common angles or peeking common angles, that comes with, game sense and map awareness and, crosshair placement. But that does come with, just playing the game, stuff like that. Just playing the game, and then you'll learn those things down the road. Or even playing a character that you might be very familiar with, like your main character. So unlike me, you guys can boost your win rate by playing characters that are easy and also have a huge impact in game that don't have to be duelists. Now, a lot of people have a misconception here that you need to play a duelist to win every single game, and that's just not true. That's just not true at all. A lot of people in my rank do insta-lock duelists, even at Immortal rank, Diamond and below, and you don't have to be a duelist to carry. There are a lot of characters in the game that aren't duelists that have high impact, and they don't really take a lot of skill. So if no one does, lock in a duelist though, I do recommend doing it still. Because duelists will kind of increase your chance to being able to carry because their kits are made for duels. It's in the name, But I do recommend learning characters like Jet and Reyna for your duelists. They are the best for carrying. They are the best solo queue characters. And for non-duelists, you can play characters like Killjoy, Skye, Viper, and Sage, which I think also have very high impact, but their skill ceiling is very low. So it's very easy for newer players to learn them. You might look at pro games and see characters like Astra, Breach, or Raze. If you can learn those characters, that's great, wonderful. You are better than I am, and I'm very high up there in the ranks. Okay, you're better than me. I can't play those characters. Those characters take too much of my brains, and they also require too much team playing coordination, which is why I don't recommend playing them in solo queue. That's why pro players play them. You shouldn't play them. Do not copy them in that sense, okay? It's not worth relying on your teammates. Your teammates are gonna be, trash, monkey, the good stuff, everything, and unless you got a duo queue, I assume, you're watching this video, you probably don't have friends, you're probably solo queuing, so I mean, let's just not even talk about that. Duo queuing does help though. Duo queuing is really fun, first of all. Obviously playing with your friend or playing with someone that you can rely on is going to help you a lot. And, someone that's going to back you up, even if you're playing bad, somebody will hype you up, and you can do the vice versa for them. Even if they're having a bad game, you can hype them up. But obviously you need to be around the same skill level. You guys need to be around the same skill level, or else it's not going to work. You can't be, you can't be a gold and play with a high plat or something, and then, even that's your friend and you feel bad. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to leave him in the dust if you really do want to rank up to Immortal. That's just the unfortunate truth. But like I said, solo queue is not impossible, and you can do it. So another thing that's very important is a practice routine. I wouldn't say every single day, but if you do have the time, every single day. If you're serious about ranking up, one thing that you probably will hear a lot in the Valorant community is muscle memory. Muscle memory is basically when your muscles just remember you doing the same act over and over again, whether that's like a flick, whether that's like whether that's like vertical or horizontal, whatever, spray patterns, and, using your abilities, your keybinds for your abilities, like which one's the jet dash, which one's the cloud burst key, whatever you have it bound to, of course. And that's muscle memory, and it doesn't come fast. It does not come fast at all, okay? Even for someone like me, learning all the character abilities were just so weird, because I come from Counter-Strike, and your abilities are smoke, flash, nade, and stuff like that, and they're on one key, or you can bind them, but I never did that, so yeah, it was very difficult. But I did play some World of Warcraft, and World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy and other MMOs do have like keybinds, which if you do have some experience with that, you probably will be able to be better than most people at this than, normal shooter people. But yeah, it doesn't come fast though. Definitely does not come fast, especially the aim part. The aim part's probably the hardest one. Now, you guys probably remember me saying in a video earlier that I was Plat 3 or Gold when I first started out as my first rank, and you might say that that's actually decently high for someone that did come to a new game. And well, yeah, I have about 4,000 hours on Counter-Strike, but you don't need to have 4,000 hours on a shooter game or Counter-Strike to be able to transfer your skills over to Valorant. My CSGO skills definitely helped, but it's a whole different game. Valorant's a whole different game. People might like say they're the same or they're similar, which they are in some regards. It's a whole different game though. Trust me. Like, even for someone like me, learning Valorant for the first time was actually very challenging. And it was very frustrating actually, because, I have all this experience in Counter-Strike, yet in Valorant, I play like a silver. Like, a lot of people don't understand how frustrating that is, but it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like if you play softball and then you're like playing softball for your entire life, and then you're like, oh, baseball is like the same thing. It's like throwing a ball and hitting the ball or whatever. But it's not. It's very frustrating when you fail in that regards as well. I don't know why I'm having so many baseball references, but it definitely does help though if you do have shooter experience. Being able to transfer your skills over, being a PC player does help as well. That comes because of the muscle memory. But if you're a brand new, freshy newbie, then it might actually be a little bit easier for you because you are learning only Valorant. And all you're doing is learning Valorant, knowledge. You're soaking up that Valorant knowledge, and you don't have that like lingering Counter-Strike gameplay mindset in the back of your mind, like, oh, I need to like pull out my grenade and stuff. You're not thinking about that. You are only thinking about Valorant, and that actually might be kind of an advantage for you. But you also need to start practicing the most out of everyone else, I think, because everyone else has developed some sort of muscle memory probably already, and they have a clear advantage over you, and you need to start practicing. But I'm not saying it's impossible though for newer players to be better than experienced Counter-Strike players. It is definitely possible that happens. And even watch pro player games and you might learn a little bit of something. And I think that you should definitely hop in training range and practice your movement, your aim, your spray, your taps, etc. Do it however many times you think you are until you're warmed up, because I think honestly that deathmatch, as shit as it is, a lot of people don't like it. I don't really like it either. It's going to help you warm up in Valorant due to the fact that you're playing and shooting against real players and not some bots that are just sitting around waiting for a bullet to hit their head, right? So do I recommend any sort of crazy flush aim training guide, or that weird ass, I don't know, what was that weird like Mr. Miyagi, Bruce Lee, like tracking aim thing in deathmatch that you have? And then, or like straight up just hopping into like aim labs or aim trainers. And to that I say it's honestly up to you. But I do recommend doing the same thing and everything in game. Like, try to like be consistent with your training, do the same thing, and try to replicate what will happen in competitive games in Valorant. That's why I like Valorant Deathmatch the most, because it has the most realistic gunfights, and you are also in game. And so they're also very quick and easy and fast, and it also helps you with map awareness, kind of crosshair placement, and practicing in game just helps so much because of that reason. And that's why I just enjoy in-game practice more. That and unrated games do help a lot too, because even though a lot of people aren't playing it seriously, it's very nice to play those, because if you're unfamiliar with agents or maps, people won't flame you either really most of the time, and you can just mute them if they are being toxic, obviously. But it's very easy to like learn new little like tips and tricks with your agents, or like if you're learning a new map. Unrated is definitely the way to go, because it's also still sort of like the same thing as a competitive setting. I don't recommend playing deathmatch just to win, although if you're good enough and you're shooting heads fast enough, that I don't see it as a bad thing either. Now that all that practice and IRL and comfort are out of the way, you should probably be improving. You will probably see some improvement, and at least slightly. If you keep on doing this guide and following guide over the next couple of days or weeks or months, And you know, you should be improving, and improvement comes at different paces for everyone, so don't feel too discouraged if your, you know, friend or something improves at twice the speed as you can. If you think that your limit to competitive games are like 3 good games a day, then do that. You know, if you want to keep playing until you lose 1 game, then stop, and then you could do that too. And if you play like shit all day and then end up deranking, then you can try again tomorrow. I think that the worst thing is feeling discouraged to take a break or a breather at any point. Like, you know, no one's gonna be perfect. You know, don't flame your teammates, obviously. You want to have a nice, clear, and, you know, good mindset that you can learn from. You want to learn from your mistakes, okay? Sometimes people do have unlucky days, okay? Your teammates might be bad 6 games in a row and you could blame it on them. It does happen. I know it happens, okay? I've had like 6 or 7 or 8 games in a row where I've lost, and 90% of those games were just not even my fault, okay? What matters, I think, the most is that you keep on grinding, you keep up that good mentality, and you keep improving. Teammates are completely out of your control. So it's your job to try to carry the shit out of your teammates and play like a madman, pop off, make comms. Make sure to make comms. Very important, by the way. If you don't have a mic, please get one. It's very, very nice to have comms, okay? You can also kind of control your teammates that way as well, but don't be too forceful, obviously. You know, come up with recommendations or switch sites with them, you know, if like the enemies start like getting scared of you and they know that you're playing the same site, you know, switch strats around, stuff like that, you know. And even though it's solo queue, people will usually listen to, you know, people that do have ideas in IGL. Even no matter how trash the idea might be, people will still listen to it because they're just followers, okay? That's just how it is. Most people in Valorant are just followers, okay? That's just how it is. I'm sorry. I do the same thing. I just follow people that, you know, IGLs that think that they know what they're doing. They probably don't even know what they're doing. I still follow them anyway, and it comes out being successful, and we win the game and go next, right? Don't take bad trades. Don't peek trash angles. Very important. You know, aiming for the head, all that good stuff. And in the end, I think that you should play with your specific playstyle. You can also copy people like pro players' playstyles, but it's up to you ultimately in the end. I think the most important thing is, I know a lot of people don't like it when I say it, and when a lot of other people say it, it's very, you know, I hated it too, okay? I hated it at one point, but the classic, just play more, okay? Just play more, and as long as you're doing whatever you're doing and it's working, then just keep at it, right? That's how you learn your muscle memory, your map awareness, your game sense. That's how you build all those things, is just playing more. Even if it's just an unrated, those skills will transfer over to competitive because it's basically the same thing, and you'll learn a lot from that, okay? You'll learn a lot without sacrificing your rank or your elo. And as much as I hate to say to improve at the game, that's what you will also tell other inexperienced players down the line. You're just going to say the same thing. Obviously, you can give them tips and tricks like I did, but playing is the best thing that you can do for yourself. Playing more gives you more experience, more scenarios to play with, okay? And like I said, muscle memory to build and improve on your gameplay. So you guys can definitely do it if I did, and I know a lot of other players that did the same thing as well. I'll probably go into depth in later videos. Since this is my first like very brief Valorant video, if anyone has any questions, you guys can, you know, comment them in the comment section below. I'll try to answer them since the video is kind of fast paced, I think. I really tried my best to explain everything. If I missed anything, please let me know. I will try to make videos on it later down the road, like I said. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace.